All right, welcome back, everybody. You guys know what time it is. Be time. Today, I got another special guest. Today, he is a former soccer player, a legend, a Hall of Famer to me, a writer, a author, a poet, a philosopher, a lyricist. Paul Hurd from Oklahoma. What's up, Paul? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Been a long time, but good to see you again.
I know it's been a long time. Just talking off camera. It's been a little over 14 years, man.
Yes, a long time.
Um, so
Those
wh-
were
wh-
those were the days.
I know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see here. So, how about you give a little introduction about yourself to all the viewers?
Okay. My name is Paul Herr, or a lot of my Michigan people call me Paul, or um, Paul depends of how you pronounce it. But you know, I I used to live in Michigan. I lived there for 22 years since the 80s, late 80s, until the early. I mean, not early, but 2000, 2009. Yeah. So I would say around 24, 25 years I've been there.
Okay.
And I played soccer all my life. I enjoy basketball occasionally. I enjoy golf. So these are the three main sports that I play either recreationally or, you know, um, for fun or tournaments. You know.
Well, yeah, man. It's being away for 14 years, man. Of course, part of my channel is about talking about sports, and the one thing about bringing you on is you've been an inspiration to me too, and I admire you. So I was like, man, I got to bring Apple on to the show because he's done a lot of great things, and a lot of people look up to him. I look up to you. I see you do such many things for not just your family, yourself, the community, and it's been a awesome time just to see your journey. So um, it's definitely great to have you on the show. And so how long how when did you guys move to Oklahoma?
So we moved to Oklahoma. My parents moved to a year and a half prior to I did. They
Okay.
moved in 2007, and I moved November 2009 after the Michigan Home New Year's. And
Okay.
I remember it was in Detroit, a
Okay.
park that we always play soccer. And it's Utica. I don't
Utica.
forget what yeah, I forgot what the name of the park is, but
Yeah.
uh, it was Utica Street or Road, whatever, right?
It was a Utica Road. And
Uh-huh.
did you know that they actually sold that field? It's actually they built a school over that now.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So it doesn't look the same anymore.
Yeah, yeah, that's wow, that's sad in the same way, but I'm glad it's using for the kids, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's great. The good thing about it is that they didn't use the whole field
Hmm.
for just the school. You still have when you go into the parking lot, there's still the soccer field on the left side,
Hmm.
and then the main soccer field where we all used to play at. That's where the school is at. But you still have the baseball field
Hmm.
behind behind the school.
Yeah, we used to use that soccer baseball field for another soccer field too,
Soccer field,
wasn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of great
Yep.
memories. A lot of great
Yes.
memories. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's get into it, man.
Yep.
One of the main things that I think people want to know and people want to hear is, Ibar is such a great soccer player, and you know, how early did you start playing soccer?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to your podcast and give me a chance to talk to your fan base and some of the people that might know me or might we have been. I have a lot of friends in Michigan, so
Oh yeah,
my circle and your circle kind of go in and out,
yeah,
But
yeah,
thank you for the
absolutely.
opportunity and thank
No
you for all
problem.
the
Thank you.
nice things you said. I appreciate it. So with that question, I started soccer probably around 12 years old, right?
Okay.
So I we start playing little leagues and back in Lansing, it's called AYSO. I think it's called American Youth Soccer, something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's it's more like it's just like a recreational soccer. It's not that competitive. They have more competitive programs, but because we were from probably back then, all of us are probably from low income family. We're probably all living in poverty, low poverty back then, right?
Right, right,
We're probably low class, like honestly, because our parents just got there, and all of them are just probably working a very low paying job, and some of them might not be working at all at the time.
right.
So it was harder to get into the competitive leagues, such as like they got a league called ODP, which is like the Olympic Develop program for like good soccer players, and they also have city leagues that are more like Premier Leagues, or you try out. What I mean? So for we always have this little team called Lansing Puma. That all the Lansing boys got together and we formed a team, and we play together against like honestly, I don't even know who we play against, but more like we play against like the elder people at picnic and stuff like that.
Okay, okay,
So um, I didn't really start playing uh, recreational until I was 14, and we also have this thing because we live in like public housing for Lansing public housing. So they have a league called PAL, which is like
yeah,
all
yeah,
the coaches are like police, right? From where
okay,
we are.
yeah,
So they will play against other public housing places, and it was just a league with like maybe like 6, 7 teams, and most of the coaches were like police guys, and it
okay.
was cool because you feel like it was fun because you were getting to hang out with a cop, and he was also your friend and your coach. So you feel like, hey, if I ever get in trouble, he might help me out.
Right, 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 right. You got to get to
Yeah.
know them.
So yeah, that's how we got started in soccer.
Okay. And now you in particular, you started at 12, right around 12, 13, 14. Um when did you know that you was actually pretty good and you started like really taking it serious?
Well, I think because I hit my growth spurts pretty good. Like at from 10 to 14, I was like the same size as everybody else that I grew up with. And at that our time, like I think everybody was just almost like, I think the tallest person, I think everybody was like 5 feet average.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
and I hit my growth spurt when I was 14, and I got to be a little taller. Like I was like 5'4", 5'5", and I'm about 5'6" if I look at it, but um, because I grew a little spurt there, and basically I was taller than most Hmong kids, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
for 5'6" was probably a little taller than
Yeah.
average. I
Yeah.
think average height was like 5'2". You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so if you're 4 inch taller, you're pretty tall.
Yeah.
And we got some of those guys that are like, you don't see, you'll see once in a while, you see somebody 5'8" or 6 foot, like Chang Yang and them, my
Yeah.
buddies
Yeah.
from their brothers, they're pretty tall, but you don't see a lot of people. So for soccer, I was one of the bigger Hmong kid, and because I was built a little muscular, and I was stronger too. So I feel like I had a lot of advantage because I was taller, I was a little buffer, and I was a lot stronger than a lot of my peers. So I started playing Fourth of July. My first appearance at Fourth of July, the big Hmong tournaments that
Yeah.
used to be really big, uh, at 14. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, because I was just bigger and I was just taller. So I started playing there from I was since I was 14 years old all the way till like I'm 30. So like 16 years of playing at Fourth of July, never missed a year. You know what I mean? From 14 to 30.
Wow, you've been playing.
So
I didn't realize that you competed at July 4th that many times
oh
at
yeah,
that young of
16 years
age.
every year. That's why. And the reason, see, I grew up. I love basketball. You guys play basketball a lot,
Oh yeah.
but I never come and play out with you guys just because, like my I play a lot of soccer, so that kept me away, and I didn't want to get injured too.
Yeah.
So, but I grew up playing basketball and tennis. Those are my two sports that I were pretty good at. But as when I got into soccer, it just like I got really good, and I didn't have to put too much effort. So, I just stopped playing basketball, and all I did was soccer. But I still play basketball whenever we have a chance. I still go out there and play basketball. I did try out for my freshman team, and I made the team, but I decided not to play because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick to soccer. I was gonna stick to academics.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and soccer did so much for me as a person and as a guy because of soccer. I was one of the at the time I was one of the most uh, known player in Michigan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So all my
Yeah.
Michigan folks had my back, and because of the type of player that I am, um, I always make friends on the field and off the field because I also always understood that sports is mainly 50% of sports is mental. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I always challenge myself mentally as a player. And if I go to a game, if somebody kick me, it's because I'm not fast enough. I don't blame other players. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
If
Right.
so,
Right.
yeah, if somebody could catch me, I'm not fast enough and good enough. If somebody could, unless they intentionally like just drop kick me, then yeah, I'll be mad. But most of the time, if they kick me or got me, it's because I wasn't sharp enough. I didn't think about it. So I would never take it out on players. And yeah, at the heat of the moment, sometimes I get into it. We'll talk a little bit, but every player that I play with, I make friendship with them. Like I never made enemy inside the field or outside the field. You know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, growing up watching, we're not that much uh, far apart as far as age go.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, just watching you play over the years and how competitive you are, and actually, I've never saw you get to a point where you get too fired up. Now I could be wrong because I wasn't in your shoes, so but as a fan, right? As a fan watching from the
Yeah, yeah.
sideline, it seems like nothing kind of like push a button. I don't know if anybody ever pushed a button. So one of my questions is like, anybody have anybody ever pushed your button to the point where you're like, man, come on, if this guy kicked me one more time, this is it. Have you ever experienced that?
I think one time was when we played at Pontiac, and uh, half of the Black Cat teams came and played with some of the Yang brothers. You know what
Oh, okay, I
I mean?
remember that.
Le playing up Mong Ya Mong Juana, right?
From Detroit,
And
yeah,
it was a Pontiac. We play at Pontiac. I remember, and it was like we were in the semis, and one of the defender, and I already passed him, and he kicked me from behind. So I stopped and I looked back. I wasn't even mad. I looked back, and he tried to fight. So it almost broke out into a fight because Michigan is our hometown, and Black Cat, it's Black Cat. They're
yeah,
not gonna step down, but because we're in our hometown, we had numbers, but we were just prepared to protect each other, but we weren't
sure,
ready to fight.
sure,
But me and that guy, we became really good friends because I never really stepped up to him. He kicked me because I already passed him, and he just kicked me, and I stopped and I just looked at him. So he was ready to fight, but I was like, okay. But so that was the only thing that I remember. Uh, like I was close to it, but like even that, he didn't even push my button. I was just like, wow. I just looked back to see why he kicked me because I was way past him. So he just
yeah,
kicked like the back of my foot.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like I said, my goal when I go play soccer to every tournament, I take it seriously because I tell a lot of people that don't know me or haven't seen me play, or even the people that come and ask me and said, how did you because my soccer career expand for a long time. Like I told you, I
yeah,
played almost like 20 years of soccer,
yeah,
and some people thought I'm older than I am, but because I play at such a young age, like 14
yes,
years old,
yeah,
I play for a long time. So it just seems like I'm always playing, and like you said, we're probably around a couple of years different. I'm probably 3 years older than you are,
yeah,
So I played it since I was 14, so it's a really young age, and I played until I was in my 30s. You know what I mean? So it's a long span, and I have never ever got injured in soccer before. Never,
That's funny. You know
never.
what? I just now thinking about it, I've never
Yep,
seen you get injured at
I
all.
never got injured because I take, like I said, every tournament comes, I take it seriously. I prepare mentally for that tournament, and for those 3 days, from Friday, from okay before the week, from that week to the tournament, I will not. I will sleep good. I will eat good. I'm like almost trying to be like professional, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course,
Like
of
like
course.
like I'm not gonna put myself in like the Tom Brady or those guys' shoes. They're professional,
Oh, I was
but
gonna say
I
you and
have
Tom
a
Brady.
yeah I have a mentality where hey I only have 2 days to perform. You know what I mean? So even like I don't eat for that week before that. I don't eat. I love peppers. I don't eat peppers. I don't eat anything that I know that could affect me. I eat a lot of carbs, like a lot of spaghettis, a lot of carbs to get me prepared for those
Yeah,
tournaments.
yeah, yeah,
I drink a lot of water. I from that whole week I don't drink pop. The only thing I'll touch is Gatorades at most, but it's all water. And like Friday nights when they come, I try to go to sleep early, even though I'm excited and sometimes I can't fall asleep.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I still go to sleep, and I never go out even at the tournaments.
The
I don't
events,
go
yeah,
out to
yeah,
yeah, I don't go out to the parties. I don't go out to the clubs. After every night I go home, I take a rest. Even at the tournaments, I don't walk around that much.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if I need food, I just go grab food, or I just ask somebody to go grab food. I try to stay in the shadow. I try to stay away from everybody because I want to be focused. It's not because I think I'm better than anybody, but
yeah.
that's my mentality. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell a lot of people, hey, I'm not that good, honestly. Like skills wise, I'm some of the younger guys that are coming up are way better than I am, but they probably don't have the mentality I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Because
great. That's great mentality. I mean, that's some good standards. That's a lot of discipline that you put into yourself because that's see. Here's the thing, that's what made you such a good player for so many years because
mm-hmm,
all that discipline that you put in yourself
mm-hmm,
and you took care of yourself. And like you said, you prepare yourself weeks for, and it's a great point that you made. And I didn't even really think about that, but that's a great point. You know, it's not like we're playing in a 16 game league
yeah,
where if you didn't do well this game, you have the next week
mm-hmm,
to look forward to, right?
yeah.
And like you said, it's only 2 days, and
It's a tournament. You know what I
it's a
mean?
tournament. You have
Yeah.
two
You lose,
days,
you out. Yeah.
and technically you can lose on Saturday. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
and then you have to wait until the next tournament and whenever that tournament might be. But yeah, that's great discipline. I didn't know that, and it's great to know that you really, of course, a lot of people they do take it serious, but like you said, the mentality of going
Mm-hmm.
there and
Yeah.
showing that hey, we have two chances to make it to the next step before
Mm-hmm.
heading to maybe semifinals or finals
Yeah.
or whatever that time may
Yeah.
be.
Yep.
So
And
that's
so like that's why I want to come on and just tell people if they're listening, if they want to like be good at something, they have to have that mentality. You have to take your craft seriously. Like like my brothers and then my brother like and my cousin Tony and Tommy and
oh
they're
yeah,
great athletes. And I was probably equally as good an athlete or even better, but I know how to preserve myself. I would never play two sports because they play football and soccer.
yes they
And
did, they
every
did,
tournament at the end when we come to the final, they can't play no more. You know that?
right.
You notice that every time they play two tournaments, they'll play either volleyball or football with soccer. And every time we get to the soccer finals, some of those guys are out or they're just performing half ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they
you
use all
get
their
gassed
energy.
out. You get
Yeah, you
gassed
can't.
out.
You just have a body and you don't take care of your body. So like I said, those guys are probably more skillful than I am. But my mentality is nobody could get into my mind. They will get mad and sometimes they will fight and that will get into their mind mentally. But me, uh, people can't get into my mind. Like I go, when I score, I'll celebrate. My thing is when I score, that will hurt them more than anything they
Oh
say to
yeah,
me. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So that's why, and that's why I want to score a lot because I want to do by showing by not talking, but
yeah,
showing my
yeah,
actions. You know what I mean?
yeah. You show your
And
action.
yeah, so like I told you, my 20-year career, there's only one time that I have got hurt, and out of my 20 to 25 years career, when I was almost 20, no, I was like 20, probably 28, and I was at the end of my career a little bit. I wasn't practicing as much, so this team from Fresno, California, called Punisher, flew
Yeah.
me out there to
Okay.
play with them,
Okay.
and we ended up getting second place, but I got hurt, so the final game I couldn't play. But I was a little my mind was so good, but my body was a little slower at that time.
Uh,
So I got everybody beat, and I was like one-on-one with the goalie, and this guy came from the back and kicked me in the back of the hill, and I went down. But at the time, I still kept playing through that game because of adrenaline, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
after that, man, tomorrow I couldn't walk no more.
Oh,
But
wow.
because he did that on purpose, like I was one-on-one with the goalie, and he ran back and just freaking slide me from the back and hit my heel and my ankle. And I played through that game. I even played the next game, but when it got to the final game, I couldn't play no more because
Yeah.
I couldn't walk no more.
Oh,
So, but
wow.
that was the only
Wow.
time that I got hurt. But out of my whole career, when I played in Michigan, I have never been hurt in soccer. I've never have cramp unless until we ride the car back home and we sit for 2 hours. Then I
Yeah.
get cramped up
Yeah.
so bad, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, man. I mean, you were one of the most exciting players to watch. Um, I had my fair share to play against you. I didn't like that because I think out of I think I can't. I don't want to throw a number out there because I don't know how many times we actually played each other. But you know, being able to have the experience to play against you, I've always admired how smart and how much you didn't play with skill. You used a lot of your mind to play the game, and that's what I looked when I looked at you. I was like, man, I bought. He's he's skilled, but he doesn't just use his skills out there. He used his mind to get around people. To A lot of people uses their body a lot. You're really good at that. You're very stable at your footwork and your body. And that's how you're able to score a lot, especially watching you. And that's one of the things. And I finally really realized that this kind of makes sense about how you're talking about how you take care of yourself. So it pays off. It looks like it paid off for you. And
Yes.
but let me ask you this. I believe you play collegiate soccer too.
Yep. Yep.
So where did you go after high school? And let me ask
Yeah.
you this.
So
Let me ask you this first. Well, what high school did you play for?
I played for Lansing Eastern High School.
Okay, okay. You
So
played
I'll give
4
you a
years
little,
there.
yeah, I'll give you a little history about high school, and then I'll give you a little history about my college.
Sure, let's do it.
Um, so when I played for middle school, some of my cousins were playing for another middle school. There's like four different middle schools that
Okay,
are Lansing public middle schools, and then there's also four high school in Lansing. So the high school, the because I was at this middle school while I was living in the housing, the Lansing housing.
okay,
And then my parents has bought a house in the district of Lansing Eastern. So where my public housing is, I was supposed to go to the other high school, but where we're moving to, we could still go to the same middle school.
okay, okay.
So when I was in middle school, we play a lot and we play against a lot of the other school, and like the Eastern head coach, the Lansing Eastern head coach, also coached for the other middle school. So they got to see me a little bit, and they didn't know where I was going to go because I was playing for a different middle school. I didn't play for the middle school that my high school was close to.
Okay.
So I had a choice. So when I finished middle school, I choose to go to Lansing Eastern because it was closer to my house too. So um, you know, playing for high school was a little bit different because anywhere you go, either collegiate or high school, freshmen are usually they will have to start lower level. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
usually, unless they already know you through the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was from another middle school. They didn't know me much. So like my first few games, I got to play for the JV teams, and then as they saw me that I was progressing, they put me onto varsity team. So I was playing varsity with a lot of my older cousins that were already there, that they were like juniors, and I was like a freshman, so I was playing with them. But I thought that I was as good as they are, but they're a lot older than I am. So uh, like, they were better because they were older and they were not scared. And play for, I think the thing that changed me and got me really good is after my freshman year, I won a drawing to go to summer camp that year. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
So I went to summer camp, and the funny part is I went to the summer camp is held at a college that was in the league that I went to college for. So like when I went to college, I played against that's team that I went to camp with. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that they brought me up there, and it was like you live and you breathe soccer for a week. Like you wake up and you have breakfast, you go play soccer. You come have lunch, after you go play soccer. You watch movie. It's almost like a soccer academy for a week. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Okay.
And man,
Okay.
I improved so much. Like I just went there and I won like MVP of the camp. And like when I came back next year, my freshman year was okay. I was a lower class, and I was the only freshman on the varsity team. You know what I mean? So I didn't. But when I
Did you
came
score?
back,
Did you score as a freshman?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I don't remember because I wasn't just like I was just not even. It's been a long time, but I know that when I came back and my sophomore year, I probably scored like 20 goals. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
And then my junior year, I even improved better. I scored like 30, and then my senior year, I scored like 40 something goals. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
And yeah, and it was just like some games I would score like 4 or 5 goals because some games we'll play against like the Lansing school district team, and we just pounding on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're probably the best team in the best uh, team as a public school in the Lansing area. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there's also other Lansing teams that are like private school that are pretty good.
Sure.
But as a public, we're probably the best soccer program. Uh,
Did you guys have a pretty decent program to where you guys made playoff school district playoffs or anything like that?
we made district playoff because we played through our people and we're able to beat them. We get there, but we'll never beat all those other like East Lansing or Mason or Haslett, like all those like small cities or small town, man, they're good. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, like I mean, we would never get further than anything other than the district because we're not made for it, man. Like honestly, like a lot of the players are just recreational players. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
there's a few of us that play seriously, but it's just what it is. It's just more of like playing because you love to play, and
Right. Right.
it's you're not gonna win anything because you already know. You know what I mean?
Did
Because
you ever get a chance to face any other family members from other teams or any other
yeah,
known people that play for other high
yeah,
schools?
all my cousins. Actually, I was the only cousin. I mean, there's a few of us at Eastern, but some of those guys, like I said, already graduated because they were like junior when I was freshman. So when I
Yeah.
got really good, some of those guys are gone. But I got a few of my cousins, like Alex and all those other guys, like Blanc and C,
Okay.
and all
Okay.
Comain and them. They play for Lansing Sexton.
Oh,
So I
okay.
was
Okay.
just I was just pounding them, man. I was just like when I play them, I just score like 4 or 5 goals every night, every time we play
Really?
them. Yeah, because
Really?
I want to beat them too, and they're playing over there, and it's Lansing Sexton is our rivalry. So we have Lansing Everett, where Magic Johnson and went to, and where Chang
Yeah.
and them, all their brothers
Yeah.
went to Lansing
Yeah.
Everett. But Everett is not as much as a competition to us, as Sexton. Sexton is our rival. So when we play Sexton, man, I would just put a beating on them because that's we always have senior night with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So
it was
what
fun.
was the battle like playing against your cousins?
It was good, but it was more fun because you practice all the time. You play on the same team, and you don't really get to play each other,
Yeah.
except for practice. So practice, you never go full on, but when we go out there go full on, so you gotta bring it. You gotta
Yeah.
you
You got
gotta
to
be
perform.
extra. You gotta be extra motivated because yeah, they might put one of those guys on you, but you got to be prepared for it. And it was
Yeah.
fun because um, we don't lose we don't lose to all my years. I have never lost to any of the Lansing school, man.
Really?
Just the public.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So now you play high school. You graduated from high school. Now you go to play collegiate. Did you
yeah. So
did they offer you a scholarship? Was you a walk on or what? What was the process?
so what happened was, I love my coach. I appreciate him. I learned so much from him, and I respect him. Um, he is such a great guy. Like I I didn't see, honestly, like I didn't even see soccer as like something that you could benefit from. I was just playing it because I was good at it. And honestly, like I was, I would tell you how it was. But in high school, my senior year, I was getting so good that I only played 19 or 20 games because I missed some of the games because of the home tournaments. I don't want to say it, you know what I mean? Because I missed I
Yeah.
missed Labor Day. Labor Day weekends, we always have a tournament where we play 3, 4 games for the school. And I
Okay.
would just call, I'll be like, hey, my family's taking me out of town and we got a family stuff. So we'll go to Green Bay and play for Labor Day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I missed those games, like, those like 4 games I could play and stack up my stacks. And then there's even some games like, sometimes like you don't even want to play, or you miss because it's just the way that we were brought up. It's just like when you and I, we just value our friends and family so much when we were growing up, you know?
Absolutely.
And yeah, we don't even say, hey, I'm supposed to be there for my team. And I honestly, like, I don't even practice that much, but I just know how to keep myself in shape to be where I was. So I never thought about soccer after high school. I never even thought about soccer playing college. So I have like applied to a lot of college, and a lot of the school came back to the ODP I was telling you. They said, did you play? So my coach was so great. He already made a player profile. He made everything. He cut all the videos. I didn't know that they were recording me,
Yeah.
and he made
Yeah.
all the highlight videos, and he sent the videos to a lot of colleges that I was applying to. And the last thing is they asked me, did I play Premier League and did I play ODP, which is the Olympic Development Program?
Right.
And I was like, nope. So they're like, well, we like all your stacks. We like your highlights. We like because my senior year, like I told you, I played like 19, 20 games and I got 45 goals. So I was scoring like 2 goals a game, right?
Yeah.
So I made all team city, all team district, all team state. I was first team all state.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I
Okay.
was the first soccer player ever from Lansing School District, from Lansing ever to make all state in the sports of soccer.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like it was awesome because I was so recognized at school. Like they'll have a big they give me a plaque, and they got a big ass plaque, all state, and my name in the office. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, you know what I mean?
Is
So
it
I mean,
still
it
it's
was.
still there today?
I don't know if it's still there because I haven't gone to the office, but I know that like a couple of years ago when I came, they inducted me into the Lansing Eastern Hall of Fame.
Okay. Nice.
So
Congratulations.
that's another thing that I was very proud of. I got inducted, and now I have a banner in their field house, and then I have a picture of me in the field house. So that's gonna be there forever.
Oh
So
man, that's awesome.
yeah, that's one of the things that I really am proud of. That soccer really has done a lot for me. So I never thought about it, and my plan was to go to Michigan State and walk on because I talked to the coach. I sent all my stuff. And they said, hey, you can go ahead and walk on. We already offer all the scholarships. So you enroll and you walk on. You come over here, you try out, and if you're good enough, then you'll play with us. If you make the team, then I was like, okay, I think that's what I was gonna do. And then one day, my coach, I went to Siena Heights University. It's a private school.
Okay.
So as a private school, they're a Division II team. So
Oh,
they
that's still
only
pretty
are,
good. That's still
yeah,
pretty good.
they only offer, so it's NAIA. That's where we were
Yep.
at the time. I
NIA.
don't,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So it's Division II and below. They do not offer full scholarship,
Oh,
but
okay.
they have ways around it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So he called me up. He said, "Hey, I've been following you all your soccer career, and where are you going? And I was like, hey, I enrolled. So there was like 3 weeks left, you know what I mean? 3 weeks left before uh it was like August. And I was getting ready to go to in the fall, like September, I was getting ready to go to class. I enrolled. I already did all my class schedule, all my class. I got my bank account. I got my financial aid coming already. I was pretty good academic student. I was a 3.9 student. You know what I mean? So I have full scholarship to Michigan State for academic already.
Academics,
So
right? Right.
I wasn't worried about anything. So that's why I said I don't mind walking on, because all my stuff was paid for. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that doesn't even count the financial aid. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. The guy's like, hey, come to Adrian. So Siena Heights is in Adrian, Michigan. Adrian, Michigan it's border to Toledo,
Yeah.
Ohio.
It's far.
So there, yeah,
Pretty
it's
far.
far. It's right by the border of from my college to Toledo, Ohio. It's about 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
15, 20 minutes to the border. You know what I mean? And he was like, hey, why don't you come down and take a look? So man, I went down there and they part man they got all the guys to like party. Man, they showed me a good time. I was like, damn, this is. I was like, damn. They took me out clubbing. They were hanging out like in frat house. I was like, damn, this is so fun. You know, because I never thought about it. We never knew anything about that kind of stuff. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So they were driving me to places, and we were just hanging out. And I was like, man,
Wait,
this is
these are coaches. These are the teammates.
the teammates. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
So I got there, and then they just showed me a good time. The teammates just showed me a great time. You know, we were going to frat parties, we were going to like house parties, we were going to clubs. I was like, damn, this is fun, you know? But so I was like, okay. So honestly, I was so far behind. I didn't even know what room is, room and board, tuition. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
have no idea, right? So, and I didn't even know that was a private school. So it was like twice more than Michigan State. You know what I mean? Because back
Right.
then, like Siena Heights was 22,000 a year already back then. That's a
Ooh,
lot.
wow. Yeah. That is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that was 2000, 1999. So, but I have no idea, right? I was like, okay. Okay. So he was like, so you want to sign? I was like, well, I'll promise you half of your school will be paid for. And because you have such a good academic, most of it will be paid for. Don't worry. And I was like, sure. And he was like, yeah, sure. And so I signed and I just didn't I just didn't show up to Michigan State. I just
Okay.
left to go down there. They got me
Wow.
classes, everything like that. And man,
So
when
that's where
I
you.
show up,
That's where you spend the next 4 years.
yeah, I spent 5 years, but honestly, I stopped playing soccer in college after my second year.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, I never really want to play soccer because back there, MLS was just coming up. There were like 6 teams or 8 teams,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I was researching and I was looking and I also off season at the college, like in the summer, I also went to play for like the minor league team, right?
Okay.
So I play with them and I looked and I was like, man, I'm not made for this because these guys, they sacrifice a lot. Like me, I cannot stay away from my home soccer team, and then I can't stay away from my cousins,
Yeah.
or and I just like if I do that, then that's all I'm doing, and
Yeah.
I just can't live and breathe soccer because I live and breathe soccer my whole life already,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was like, I can't do it because there's not much money in there. Like even if I make it somehow, if I make it, I'm making 25 grand a year. You know what I mean?
Especially during that time.
Yeah,
During
during
that
that
time.
time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it ain't that much better today, but it's definitely way more 10 times better.
Well, the endorsements and the exposure in the media, you'll make so much money right now if you,
Right. Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
especially now, yeah.
because if you good and your people like you can make a lot of money now
Right.
because you're gonna be endorsed and you're gonna be representing them. You know what I mean? But
Right.
they still don't make a lot of money right now. But I mean,
No.
they're right now their average salary is up to like 70, 80. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
and then they get a little bit better treatment today versus
oh yeah,
you know
a lot.
back in the late '90s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because there's around 20 to 30 teams right now. So
oh yeah.
the league has growing and the league
Oh,
is strong right now.
dramatically,
You know what I mean?
especially in the last 5-6 years here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So so let me take this back now. You said so you ended your career in college. You only played a couple of years. So I could tell that your team your team Viper, you guys was a family oriented team,
Hmm.
and you guys pretty much consist family members. Of course, you
Yep.
guys had other people that played alongside you guys too, but majority
Yeah.
it was pretty much your family. How did
Yep.
you guys
Yep.
even? How did you guys? When did you guys form this team? And how did you guys even get the name Viper? Because it stand out so well for you guys.
Yeah. So we started playing with, like I said, we started Lansing Puma with all the Lansing guys. So it was like all the different last names, everybody, all the friends.
Hmm.
And then as we start playing more and more competitive, a lot of people start quitting. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because even though soccer was the thing back there, it was not for everybody, right? I mean,
Right. Right.
because everybody was like, oh man, it's either like, and back then, basketball, I think soccer and basketball and volleyball were like the most popular, you know?
Yeah.
Football
It
wasn't even
was.
around, right?
No.
Flag football
No.
wasn't even around, you know what I mean?
Not until
And then,
2005.
yep, and that was like a long time ago. So,
Hmm.
uh, a lot of guys, I think during our age, a lot of guys were looking into just being, just hanging out, you know, just having a crew or just hanging out. And, a lot of players end up not playing. So we just like, and the people in my family, we just kept playing. So, there was like 6, 7, 8 of us playing, and we kept that group strong. And then we also have some cousin in Canada that were
Yeah.
very good, and they play now. They play really good. They play in the real leagues up there. So
Yeah.
those guys are like skills wise, they were way better than us, and they were way disciplined. So we got like 4 or 5 of them too. So we're like, oh, you know what, we have enough for a team, and then we just get some friends like 5, 6 other guys to play. So that's why we kept playing, and we kept being better because we play for a long time together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You guys did.
Yeah. So at first, we're just average, but I think our team, what make us better than everybody else is because I think physically we're our physiques and our athleticism was there. You know what I mean? I don't think we have the best skills, to be honest with you, as a team wise, but we have a few very good individuals. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
There's probably like 4 or 5 of us that are really good individually or very good players, but we have a core group that understands how to play and understands how to stay in shape. So we were really physical in a way, and we are we most of us are athletic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we played and we kept in shape, and we always take it seriously. Although we don't practice as much as we should, when like 2, 3 weeks before a tournament, we will work our butt off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we come, we're prepared to play any style that people play. So I think that the way that we play really fast, and we play. We could play physical. We're not a dirty team, but we could play physical.
Yeah.
So
There's a difference when you play physical and dirty.
yeah, big
You know,
difference, right?
there's a huge difference.
Hmm.
We know a lot of home teams they're very dirty,
Yeah,
but
yes, yeah.
playing physical is that's the right way to play the game.
Hmm. Hmm.
So now
And
let me
the
ask.
one thing we have is everybody's competitive too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. You
yeah,
gotta
all my
have that.
cousin
If
and I,
everybody don't
we're
have that,
so competitive.
oh yeah,
Like
if you don't have
even
everybody with the same mindset of being a
yep,
competitor, I
yep,
mean, there's no way of even exceeding to that next level. So
yep. Yeah, we don't love to lose, and when we play to win. So like I said, I mean, my soccer team, we have done a lot. The only thing that we have never won is 4th of July. You know what I mean? As Vipers, I've played with other teams and won with Twin Star in them, but as Vipers, we never. But every year we go to 4th of July, we're always almost like we're like the final 18 because we always come to the final. Most of the time, we'll come to the final in our field,
yeah,
and we're always like the top 8 teams every day we go. But yeah, I think it's because we have such a small group that by the time we get there, we're kind of done. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So we don't have a lot of other players that we get to play with us, like other teams that they'll trying to get some of the best players. We just usually go with our teams with a few players, and by the time we get to that level, we're all like tired out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
July 4th is it's a one of the biggest Hmong tournaments out there. So, uh, like today, I think it's changed so much today
yeah,
because a lot of team today, just like the NBA, a lot of teams they stack now because everybody
Mm-hmm.
wants to win, right?
Yep. Yep.
Nobody wants to go there and lose. So a lot of teams
Yep.
today they stack, but going there with the original team, what you would have to say, at least you guys, I wouldn't say that losing was a priority, but would you say that your team was pretty successful as going there as an original team?
Not as much. I'll be honest with you,
Okay.
because uh, we we know that when we go there, the skill levels, there's going to be 4 or 5 teams that are stacked, right? But the rest of the teams, like, you don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. You guys might have not played at the height of Fourth of July, dude. It's nothing like that. That was our World Cup, man.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Right.
at the height of like the 2000 and then 2000 to almost the 2008 and below, it's like you have like at some point you have like 30,000 watching you play, man.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah. Yeah.
crazy. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just like the environment, the play. It's just like it's like my World Cup. It's just like it's amazing, and I think that we always think that we had a chance, but we always knew that it's hard for us to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we never really um, find better players to come and play with us. We'll find a few, but we just have our main core. So it was hard. Like I think that we thought that one of these years we might win. You know what I mean? But I knew that our team was not built to win in July 4th because we don't have the
The depth.
like I said, we don't have the depth. We have 11 good players, but our bench was just so. You know what I mean? They're athletic as hell, but they don't know how to play the game as good as the 11 players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I knew that if one of the players gets hurt, or one of the starters gets hurt, or somebody get tired or pull their muscle or cramped up, we're done. You know what I mean? And it always happened that way. I mean, we have even when we play, honestly, I knew we weren't fit because we don't have the depth. But when we play like good teams, like even when we play against like United, like they're like one of the best teams.
Yeah.
We have taken them out a few times at the 4th of July because we stack. We could compete with anybody. But the thing is, it's hard because when you go up there, we used to go up there. There used to be 65 teams, right?
Yeah. A lot of
And
teams.
we used to play 15. That's it. 15 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll play almost like out the whole tournament, you might play like 8 games if you go and win nine,
You
10
go
games.
deep. Yeah. If you go
You
deep
go
into the
deep.
tournament.
Yeah. So it's tough, man. It's gruesome. It's you gotta have that physicality and that mentality and that mental.
Yeah,
So
you definitely won. You gotta definitely be in shape and ready for these type of tournaments,
mhm,
and you gotta have depth to go into these tournaments. And like you said, back in the days, I mean, we went there with our team in 2002. We didn't do good. We didn't do it. We lost
mhm,
the first day
mhm.
because their formate their structure back then was totally different than today.
Yeah,
Uh, when we went there, and you probably experienced it too, but you lose even no matter what, you win your first game. If you lose your second game, you're out.
you're done.
There's
Yeah,
no
that's how
third
it
game.
is.
There's
Yep,
no
there's
third
no
game.
third game. Yep.
So we lost on Saturday, and that was it for us.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so yeah, the whole structure is totally different than this year. But there's not many teams when that era was when you was playing too. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
today you might get a close to 20, maybe 32 teams,
yeah.
but
32 teams the most I
yeah,
seen.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
You
what
get better quality of soccer though. You know what
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because
I mean? Hmm.
today a lot of these teams, though, it's like those 32 teams, quality,
Yeah,
quality
yeah.
teams.
Quality.
I mean,
Yep.
you cannot go there and say there's a trash team there.
Yep. Yep.
Everybody's legit. You
Yep.
know.
Everybody has a chance.
Yeah.
There's
So
always there's always two teams on top, but you never know. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You you
absolutely.
you never know. You know.
So what I want to know is how you guys got the name Viper.
But yeah, I was gonna answer that. So we went with young. We started with like young stars, and it wasn't clicking. And then you remember Detroit Vipers as like a
Yeah.
hockey team. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
saw we saw that hat, and we're like, man, we should just call ourselves the Vipers. So we talked, and then we talked to my uncle, Tony's dad,
Okay.
Uncle
Yep.
Lower. And we're
Uh-huh.
like, hey man, I think we want to be called the Vipers now because um, we like that name. And he's like, oh, that's what was the Vipers? Because they don't know, they
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
Cobra, but they don't know the
Yeah.
Vipers is also a snake, right? We're like, it's a
Right.
snake. It's like, oh wow. And then that '94 is when like Brazil won the World Cup too. You know what I mean? So we're like, hey, we're going with Brazil's jersey because we always, our whole team, we love Brazil. We like their style, they're fast. We like how to play like they play. You know what I mean? So we're like, wow, let's do that. So that's why we got the name Vipers, and then that's why we always got the Brazil jersey. You know,
Yeah,
because of
you
World Cup
guys fit that
'94.
name so well. That
Yeah.
name and the jerseys, it just fit you guys so well, man. You guys really made a great reputation out of that name, out of those jerseys. It didn't matter where you guys went, and when the moment you guys put on those jerseys, everybody knew who you guys was. And when I played too, but I was also a fan too at the same
Mhm.
time. So I always look forward to watching you guys play, and of course I got a chance to play you guys. Got a chance to watch you guys play in so many finals that it was such an exciting opportunity to watch you guys play. And yeah, big shout outs to your cousins from Canada and them too. I
Yeah.
don't know all their names, but there's the one of your particular cousins. I think he was a lefty. He was a
Hmm.
lefty, I think, and I think he
Hmm.
played midfield. He was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
So,
very good. He was asked to go to Italy to play pro, but his dad didn't let him go. You know what I mean?
oh wow,
Yeah. So he was that good. He was one of the best player that I seen where I play with. I mean, he's my height. He's pretty structured, and he's pretty very good. He actually both footed. You know that?
oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, but he likes his left more. But he's actually both footed. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So he
I love watching them play too. When you guys all got a chance to play in tournaments, the way he keeps the ball really close to his foot, I loved it.
hmm yeah,
And
he
he was
controls the
such a good
ball really
dribbler,
good.
very good
Yep.
dribbler.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we're also kind of running out of time, but I want to touch on this. You weren't just a great athlete. I saw you play soccer. I saw you play basketball. You guys even put a basketball team for a tournament in Lansing when I brought my basketball team there to play. But you
hmm
guys didn't play too long. And but what I really want to touch on is you're not just an athlete. You're also an author, a poet, a philosopher, a lyricist. I mean, explain a little bit about that. What gave you that motivation to be able to do and be able to be an author?
I think that one of the motivation that I have throughout my life is like whatever I do, I put my passion into it. You know what I mean? So like whatever I want to do, I kind of do it, and just I don't I don't care what people say. I mean, sometimes people go, "Oh, you like to write poems?" And I say, "Yeah, I like to write poems. It's just a form of expression." You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like because when I grew up, I'm a quiet person. I don't talk as much as I do because I like to keep to myself. That's how I focus. You know. So I talk to you guys and stuff like that. I come and say hi, or I talk about. More than likely, I only talk to people I know. So I keep all my expression just expressing to myself through writing and through all that. And like I said, I also I'm a entrepreneur because I always think that working for myself, it's harder, but it's more rewarding. You know what I mean?
sure.
So as an entrepreneur, as a restauranteur, I work long hours, but I enjoy it. I don't look at it as a job. I could stay here after work and make sauce, and I don't even think like I'm working. So to me, mentally, I'm not drained. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I don't think it's a job. I say, hey, this is how I'm making my living. This is my passion. I love to cook. I love to make food for people as long as they're happy. Then I don't see it as a job. So I could be here like 10, 12 hours, but I don't feel like working. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
just like, hey, I'm making my stuff. And same thing as my writing. I write, and I write because I want people to to read it, and not to understand where I'm coming from, but to read it and interpret the way that they understand it. And that's if my words help them, not even the whole poem. If one word out of that poem help them or motivate them or change them, then I've done my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's great, man. I didn't even realize that you wrote 5 books. I heard of your first one when you first wrote it, and just looking at your profile, I didn't realize that you wrote 5. Now, with out of those 5, I mean, there's so many titles to your books. Which one of those really stands out? Like, which one really is like Paul Her in those books? Which one of those?
I think all of those has a little bit of me in there because like I kind of like save all the over time, right? And then when I wrote it together, I put it together. So I think it's just a journey. That's why I put life's one of them is called life lessons, life experiences, life's journey is just all about what I've been through and what I've done. You know what I mean? So it's all my journey, all my experience, all my lessons that I've learned, and it's just something that I think that it's just like picking who's your best favorite kid, right?
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
have like
yeah.
4 kids, it's just I think each kid has a part of us, and we love them. We love them differently too. You know what I mean?
Right,
As
right,
as a
right.
girl to a boy, we love them differently. We love them we love them, but we love them differently as terms as like, I might act a little different towards her because my daughter's more sensitive, so I might be more sensitive towards her.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
son,
That
I
makes
might be
sense.
more tough towards him because he's a guy. So I'm gonna be yelling at him tougher.
Right, right,
So
right.
like my books, I think that even though I publish everything that I wrote, and I still have some stuff that I haven't published, but at the time I published everything that I wrote. So it's more like I didn't pick just the best. I put everything and just let people see. Okay, if you read one and it's not good at all, then that's me. And I'm not that good sometimes, right? But if you read one that is really really good, you're like, whoa, that one I didn't like, but this one is really really good. So I that's me too. I at times I could be really really clever or intelligent, but at times I just write this simple poem, nothing that it's a no-brainer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just put everything out there as like, that's my work, you know what I mean? If you appreciate it, it's fine. If you don't like it, it's fine, but as long as you get a word out of it, and then it's cool. So,
Oh, absolutely.
um, you know,
Is there gonna be any more in the future?
yeah, I show 5 there, but I do have 6, I think.
Okay.
So I got one that I published like a couple of years ago, but that one has some philosophy in there and has some poetry in there. So, um, like you said, I'm trying to go into more philosophical stuff because I'm uh, kind of done my poetry, but I still because I write it, it comes out at time and I still write it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I still have a lot that I haven't published because at times things just comes to me and I just write it.
Okay.
So but one thing I just want to say is I think that like if we do everything that we do, we kind of put the same passion or the same mindset to it, then in anything that we do, we'll probably do it pretty good. Because if I was a good soccer player because uh I prepare myself to be mentally and physically, and I try to put myself in the best situation. And if I put that towards my restaurant or towards my writing, then more than likely I'm going to be more successful because I'm preparing myself to be successful. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
so funny. You just took the question right out of my mouth, Paul. Because my next question to you was, you know, what can you tell the people that's watching how they can be successful, whether it's through playing sports or just in general? Because I feel like when you play sports, you're so well disciplined, you're so well prepared, and it kind of prepares you for the future. It prepares you for the next part of your life. And that was the one thing I was going to ask you. Like, what is something that you can actually tell the people that's actually watching, like whether it's sports or just in general, like
mhm.
how can they be so successful in their own ways?
Yeah. So I want to add to that. The sports is imitation of life. You know what I mean? Because in sports, you're gonna have a team. When you work or you run a restaurant, you have a team. You in sports, you either gonna be the captain, which is the leader, or sometimes even a coach, because you have a coach out there, but why you playing, if you are a leader, you still coaching there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So during playing time, you coaching. The coach only coach, especially child soccer. The coach can't coach playtime. You know what I mean? And there's no timeout in soccer. The coach only put the formation in, and they just sub people out. But actually, the leader is the captain who's coaching the team inside the field. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like in soccer, it imitates life. You 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 play the way you practice, and you develop leadership skills. You develop as a captain. Then you keep your team going. You kind of motivate them. And in life is the same thing. When you have your kids, you kind of do the same thing. If you have a restaurant, or if you're not, if you're not a business owner or you're working for somebody, you still have to work as a team, no matter what. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
being able to talk to people, to understand people, to know what kind of skills, or what each person is capable of, you gotta be able to communicate to that person and say, hey, I know you have the potential to do this and that. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
to to get people's potential out. So that's why, I don't yell if we have some players that I know that they're already at the potential level. They're just there and they're playing, and I will always like encourage them, because they cannot do any better, right?
Right.
So you cannot just tell them to do something that they're not capable of doing, because they're there to be a sub. So when they're subbing and they make mistakes, they're gonna make mistakes because they're a sub. That's why they're a sub.
Yeah.
But when they do something good, you encourage them and say, "Hey, man, you
Oh
did that
yeah.
good," you
Yeah.
know. But for my starter as a player, or the people that I know that are capable of doing something, if they screw up, I'm gonna yell at them. I'm like, "You're not supposed to screw up. Or you're not supposed to make that mistake,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that is something that you're not supposed to make." And sometimes they go, "Why you take it so hard on?" And why you don't take it hard on this guy? Why you take it? Because I say you got more potential than that guy. You know what I mean? That's honesty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the same
Yeah.
thing as work. If you know that person is capable of being a better worker, but they slack, then you got to tell them. Or if you know that that person is just capable of doing that, then hey, if they show up to work and do their job, they're fine already. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you just
Well,
have to
that's
know.
that's one way of being successful. I think, like you say, you're such a good leader. You've been a good role model to not just your team, but everybody else that's around you. That's why like you say, you're an entrepreneur, and people look at you and they acknowledge that and they see that, and that's why you're such a successful person, who you are today. And it's a great thing because we're able to see the story and that you share with us how you play soccer, and now you're also adapted to becoming a family member, an entrepreneur. You write books, and not only that, you run a business. And um, how much of a better story than you can get out of that? So
Mhm.
that's great. That's great, Paul.
And can I say one thing before that we left out, and I want to
Yeah,
stress
absolutely.
one
Go
thing.
ahead, touch on it.
So when I got back from college, my high school coach retired, but he didn't want to retire like during the summer, because then because most of the time they would tap a coach from within the school, because they want the person that the insider to make additional money. That's why they
Okay.
always hire teachers to be coach, because that's something that they can make additional money. So my coach want me to coach, and I had another friend that we played soccer in high school together, and he was already coaching the women's soccer team at my high school. He was a head coach of the women's soccer team, and then my coach was still there, and he approached me. He's like, "Hey, you want to coach?" I said, "Yeah, I'll probably coach and help out." And then he was like, "This is what I'm gonna do for you." And my friend Jeff, he's like, "Right when the season start, I'm gonna announce that I'm quitting. So if I do that, they don't have enough time to hire people. So then I'm just gonna say, hey, I recommend you guys hire Paul or Jeff, because they know the system, they play under me, and they graduate, and Paul played for college and stuff like that." So after that, my coach retired, and they gave the head coach to me at my high school. But I saw that my friend, it's a pretty good coach, and he coached the women. So I told him to take the head coach. I'll be the assistant coach for him. Then I'll coach the JV team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want that responsibility, and I don't think I deserve that, because I never coached before. So I was like, so even though the guy that my friend, when he was in high school, he was like a bench, more of a bench person. But because he stayed with the coach a lot, he was able to pick all the coaching philosophy from my coach. So actually, he was a way better coach than me.
Oh
And I
wow.
knew
Okay.
that, and I
Okay.
saw that.
During me and Paul Hur's podcast, for some reason we got cut off, and I lost a little bit of the ending of our recording. So we're gonna go ahead and touch base on what we left off, and we're gonna give you guys a proper ending. So stay tuned and stay with us, and we're gonna give you guys an outro.
Coach for my high school. We played soccer together in high school. I believe he's a year older than me. He's a class above me. So he's been coaching with my coach since I left to go to college. So he was like assistant coach, and he also coached the girls. So he's the head coach of the girls team and assistant to the coach. I forgot who was the JV coach because I don't know if he was. I forgot if he was the JV coach, but I also learned that from him being around my coach a lot, and even back in high school when we played, he played, but he wasn't like a starter, or he didn't play probably as much. But I he learned a lot more. So when I got back to my high school and was asked to coach, I thought that it was best if my friend was the head coach, and I would be the assistant coach for the varsity team, and then I would coach the JV team and then develop them to play for varsity because I did not know anything about coaching. You know what I mean? So I had to learn, read books. I had to study. I have to ask him and just learn from there. So, anything you want to ask me, or
So how long did you coach for before you actually moved or moved from the coaching scenery? How long did you coach for?
so right, I started right after I got out of college, which is 2004. So I coached all the way to 2009, like before, like I coached all the way up to that season because I left 2009 in November. So
Okay.
I coached that fall, and after that, I told him that I wasn't going to be back for the next season because I was moving on. So I coached for 4 years. So
How was the
uh,
experience? How was the experience like?
man, like I told you, I played soccer all my life, but in that 4 years, I learned more about soccer than from playing as a player.
Right. Right.
Because as I was telling you or telling other people, the people that play sports that are naturally gifted or they see the game, it's because they process the game with their mind differently, right?
Right.
And the reason that we do certain things certain way because we see the advantage, but we cannot tell anybody else why we do things the way we do.
Mhm.
Until you become a coach, then you see why the things you do are beneficial because you have advantage of what you do. And like as a coach, I have to translate that to my players who are who may and because we go to public school, we have kids that has never played soccer that join the soccer team. And as a public school, we don't cut players. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we can't. We have to let them play and let them be on the team. Even though they don't play, they have to be part of the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at practice, everybody plays, everybody practice, and you have half of the kids that has never played soccer before. So you have to learn the technical. You have to tell them why you pass the ball a certain way, why you stop the ball a certain way, and they're so they can understand what is being done.
Yeah.
But if you play soccer all your life, all that technical stuff comes natural. So you do it anyways, but you cannot translate that to anybody.
Yeah.
So I think that when I was playing as a coach, and by that time, I was still kind of in my prime. I was like 20, 24, uh, and I was still playing. So I learned the game a lot. When I play, I play a lot better. I didn't use as much as energy because I understand the game. But um, yeah, I learned a lot, and I appreciate coaching.
So
So much.
so being able to coach and still play soccer at the same time, you was able to kind of transition more knowledge and then use it towards your game. So that has to be a great experience because, like I said before, coaching and playing is two whole different stories.
Hmm.
So being able to adapt and play and coach at the same time, now you're able to say you're kind of coaching yourself while you're playing, so you understand the game a little bit more, and the knowledge is always there. So, but that's great, man. That's great, man. You again, you have an outstanding story. Um, you had a long career yourself. Now, let me ask you this before we take off. Are we gonna see Paul Hurd play soccer again, or is he officially retired?
I thinking about making a little comeback because they have these leagues for like 40-year-olds and up, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of all my old buddies are playing again. A lot of people that haven't given up soccer are still playing. So I've seen a lot of people that don't play anymore, but at the same time, I still see uh, a lot of people that I used to play that still played. And as competitive in me, I still want to play, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, and I just turned. I'm turning 42, so I finally qualified the last few years, but because of my
Yeah.
job and
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the my business, I'm not in shape. So my mind, I think my mind is still very sharp, and it's even better than I was when I was younger. But my body and I'm out of shape. So I think that that's a bad combination. You have
Dang.
your mind is like your mind thinks that you are still good, or your mind thinks that you can still do the things that you used to do, but your body can't. You're gonna get hurt because you're gonna
Oh yeah.
try stuff that
Oh yeah.
you can't do no more. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I that's why as a competitive athlete, I don't want to play either because I know that I can't perform to my expectation or to other people's expectation of what they see how I used to be like, and it's just hard. So I think that maybe one season I might come back and play a few tournaments, but as of right now, I probably won't. Like this year, I probably won't do it because I've also been asked to become like a for the new administration for the new Oklahoma group. They have
Okay.
a new staff and a new president coming in.
Okay.
So you remember no, Diallo from Pontiac, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the new Patan. He's the new
he's
president.
the
Yeah.
yeah, he's the new president, and he knows me from Michigan, and we know each other, and we know each other for a long time. So he asked me to be part of his board, and he wants me to do the
Okay.
sports coordinating this year. So I'm running the sports for the new year. So
Okay.
for
Great.
me,
Great.
I just the type of player that or person that if I run something, I don't want to be playing it because some people
Yeah.
are going to say, oh, you know what, you're going to be cheating or it's not fair. So as a sports coordinator, I just wants to run the sport this year, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking about maybe do like maybe a special game where you kind of like pick maybe all the old all-star players, and we might do maybe like a game like that
Yeah.
just to showcase or just to show respect or stuff like that. Maybe some if I could coordinate
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Give it a
yeah,
little
I'll probably get in
entertaining.
there, yeah, and play a game or like a fun game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Why
But
not?
to be competing, yeah, I'm not going to compete because I'm the host and I don't want to have any, um, I don't want people to think anything of it.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah,
Well, hey, congratulations to you. I know that Joe's a great guy. I know that you're going to do a great deed for the community too. Um,
yeah.
and then again, much respect to you. You had such a great career in soccer. A lot of people know who you are. I'm a huge fan of you. Even when I first started playing soccer, I was a huge fan, and I wish you nothing but success. Um, can anybody who wants to reach out to you for your books or anything like that, should I put your Facebook down in the description? They can reach out to you if they want to purchase your books.
Yeah, I have a whole Facebook just for like Paul Hurd, the author.
Okay,
So if they search for that, it's just all about my books. All I put quotes in there. I put writing in there. I put writing from my books, like certain poems, certain materials. It's more like an inspirational page or motivational page.
sure.
So I see when I see any quotes that are uplifting or something that's good, I put it there. So
Okay.
you could contact me through there. You could go and read some of my works there, read some of the stuff that I wrote or some of the stuff that I post and
Okay.
see who I am. And, just contact me. I still have a few books left. So if you buy from me, it's cheaper and it's better. And I don't know. They used to have me on Amazon and stuff like that, but I haven't checked because
Okay.
I haven't been that um, involved in my books in the past few years because I have two kids now,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I haven't been involved. So I'm thinking about publishing another book by the end of this year. So I want to get more involved next year. Once I settle in my restaurant, find some good workers, I'm gonna go back into my book because that's what I want to do. I want to transition into being like a motivational speaker, an author, a poet, and just go around and motivate people, teach people, inspire people. We
Absolutely.
we need more inspiration in this world. Like I don't want to be a lecturer, but I want to be a motivator or inspirator instead of being a lecturer because I don't want to lecture on people on things that they believe or what. But I just want to go out there and inspire people to be better, to be um, something that they always want to be that sometimes they think that they can't be because they think that it's too hard for them, right? But if
Right.
they hear me and they also know that, hey, I have gotten there to a certain point, and from our backgrounds and where we came from almost nothing, and
Absolutely.
now we
Absolutely.
are getting to be somebody or something. Anybody out there could do it too. But I'm a realist and I write how it is. So I always tell people, let's forget about all these bull crap where we tell people you can be anything you want to be. No, I think you could be anything you want. You have the inspiration or you have the desire or passion to be.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I know that I can't just wake up tomorrow and be a professional golfer because and that's it's kind of late for that. And plus, I don't have the passion for I love to play golf now, but it's more of like a social thing. I
Sure.
love to play golf with the
Yeah.
people that around me or my group. I don't really play golf. I don't go out there and go golf by myself or play around by myself because I don't see the passion in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm more a realist. I write stuff as what I go through, what I see. I don't encourage people to like. I believe in being education, but I don't go out there and force people to do it because education is not for everybody too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if you want to do it, great. I'm going to motivate you and say, do it. You can do it. If you want to go back to school, I want to motivate you. Say, yeah. But if you don't want to do something like that, and people are pushing you to do it just because, oh yeah, you got to be a doctor, lawyer. I mean, not everybody could be a doctor, lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely inspirational to me. And anybody who's really interested in Paul Herr's books, I'm going to leave his direct Facebook down in the link below. Anybody have any questions for Paul, please feel free to hit him on Facebook and his page. I'll leave all his information down low. So if anybody wants to reach out to him and get his book or just kind of, be inspired by his life, his journey to where he's at today, I'll leave everything down below. And once again, thank you, Paul, for being on my show, man. I really appreciate it. You showed nothing but love, and I wish you and your family, everybody, nothing but the best. So, and when I come down to Oklahoma, I definitely come by and pay a visit.
Yeah, brother. Hey, thank you for all the nice words. Thank you for always, every time we see each other or every time I come to play soccer in Pontiac or Detroit, and you guys always show me respect and you guys always show me love. Thank you for all the nice words that you said about me. I'm glad that I was able to be want to be a role model. I never want to just trying to get people to look at me like something different. But sometimes when you do something good, then you always become that role, no matter what, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
And I'm glad that you guys see me as somebody that you guys could look up to, and I appreciate that. And like I said, I'm nothing but just a person like you guys. But I just do things the way that I feel is best for me, and I appreciate you and all my boys or family from Michigan. I'm always Michigan's always going to be home for me.
oh yeah, for sure,
So
for
once a
sure.
year or twice a year, I come and visit. my neighborhood, Lansing, and I go to Detroit, and it's always going to be home. But as we grow, we move on and we do things differently. But for you guys in Michigan, keep doing it. You're doing this podcast, and I hope it's a success for you.
Thank you.
And we're going
Thank
to
you.
keep supporting you. And like I said, anytime you need me to come back on a subject, let me know. We could get
Yeah,
back
for sure.
together and do some stuff together. But I wish you nothing but good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But we are out of time, people, man. Once again, thank you, Paul Hur from Oklahoma. And we are out.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good night. God bless you guys. And we'll see each other soon.